Good morning, family. Let's jump into a quick morning prep. First things first, for those of y'all who are in the Focus Trades group, I need everybody there for this morning's live stream, guys. Let me show y'all here. We got a whole bunch of setups to cover. For those of y'all that like the squeezes, we got a plate full this morning. So everyone in the group, I want to see you all there this morning, just before 9 a.m., before we begin the live stream. And for this morning's prep, guys, let's start here with a few daily charts. And I just want to show y'all guys something here. All right. So take a look here at technology. We'll pull up the Qs, and as you guys know, tech stocks have been running the market here. But check this out, guys. Right? From the 7th of August until the 12th of August, you had some selling pressure here in the Qs, right? From the 7th until the 12th. What was happening, guys, from the 7th to the 12th was a little bit of rotation, right? Where after tech had made a really nice move, big money started locking gains, and that's when we begin to see that game of rotation. And it's simple stuff, team. All that's happening here is that big money is locking up profits, taking their capital out of technology, and they're putting it into finance, putting it into energy, putting it into industrials, putting it into all these other sectors, right? This is known as rotation. So as the Qs are pulling back towards that 21, capital's coming out of technology. Take a look at where it's going, guys. For that short little 3 or 4 day period, from the 7th until when? The 12th, finance is popping as money's rotating out of tech into finance. We take a look at energy from the 12th, from the 7th to the 12th. You get a pop in energy as money is rotating out of technology. You can take a look at the industrial sectors. One more example, guys. And from the 7th to the 12th, it's pumping as you get rotation. More importantly, from the 12th and on, you see industrials begin to fade. From the 12th and on, we see energy begin to fade. From the 12th and on, we begin to see the financials fade. They faded because money rotated back into technology. Money came back out of finance and back to tech. Money came back out of energy and back to tech. Out of industrials, back to tech, etc., etc. So take a look at this, guys. We get this big old, whomper of a gap yesterday in technology, and then they begin to take profits. So you take a look at the Qs, and we get this big old pumper here yesterday, and immediately they begin to take profits. At the very same time, guys, as they're taking profits in tech, what happens? They begin to rotate into other sectors. For example, check out finance here. Really starts to pump yesterday as capital is rotating in. You take a look at the transports, really pumping as money is rotating in. So you look at these tech names, and they all get a big gap up, and they all roll over. And there was really no exception, guys. Apple did it, Amazon did it, Google did it in a big fashion, Facebook, you name it. So here's my thoughts on the market right now, guys. We take a look at the Qs, and look, I'm the first one to admit that this is a tough market to kill here. So by no means, guys, am I looking for this market trend to reverse. What I am open-minded to is the idea that we do get a little bit of a nice flush here in tech. And this is the key right here. If the rotation continues. The same picture we saw yesterday, if we continue to see that here today. Tech moving lower, finance, energy, industrials, transports, etc. moving higher. What I would love here, guys, is if tech can make a nice little reset. Maybe to the AEMA even better, coming on down to that 21 EMA, as that just sets us up for such a nice pitch to catch that reversal back to the upside and to catch that continuation of the trend. But those are my thoughts, guys. If we continue to see signs of rotation, maybe we do get a nice little healthy reset here in Apple. Maybe we do get a nice little healthy reset here in Amazon, etc., etc. So with that being said, team, take a look at something like Goldman Sachs yesterday. And we always say in the group, follow the money. You find your go-to setups, but find your go-to setups where the big money is present. If you're looking for squeezes to the upside yesterday on Microsoft, Apple, etc., it ain't happening. Big money's coming out of tech. Where were they going? Into finance. So for me, the go-to setup is the squeeze. We identify that money's going into finance yesterday. Find a really nice 4-hour squeeze here on Goldman Sachs. I bought this Friday's expiration. What do we got on this? This Friday's expiration, 195 calls, guys. Really small position. Again, that's relative. I got 2 contracts at about 1162. Looking for a little bit more pumping here today. if the money continues to rotate into finance. So I'm taking my go-to setup, which is a squeeze, and I'm following where the big money is going. So we got a nice gap up here this morning towards 210. See how this goes this morning, guys. If I can get, a nice 50-60% return on those calls, I'm not going to be greedy here, especially knowing that any day now, finance could completely roll over if and when big money wants to jump back into tech. So that is the big picture context heading into today's session. Take a look at a couple of these setups, guys. This spreadsheet is my business. I fill it with my go-to setups and nothing else. Up here, I got my squeezes. As far as the ones that are relevant, guys, we just discussed Goldman. That squeeze is already fired. But what's really sticking out here this morning is we've got a bunch of tech names squeezing on a couple different time frames here, as well as some semiconductor stocks. So you got Amazon on the 4-hour, as well as the 2-hour along with AMD. For 1-hour squeezes, we got Apple, Google, Facebook. For the 30-minute, you got Apple, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD. So this kind of, brings us into an interesting session here, or what could be an interesting session, where we saw yesterday what could potentially be day one of some rotation. And if that rotation is going to continue, I'm not saying it is, but if it is going to continue, we should expect to potentially see these tech names move lower. So with that being said, when you come into the session here with, say, an hourly squeeze on something like Apple, right? Or we look at another big tech name like Amazon, and we got a 2-hour squeeze combined with a 4-hour squeeze. To me, guys, this is big. We gap up yesterday, we roll over a bit, we then chop, everything is getting nice and tight now. These squeezes are setting up for what is likely the next move for tech. With the context that there was some rotation taking place, if the rotation continues, potentially, we do see these squeezes fire to the downside. At the same time, rotation can be a one-day event. If big money wakes up this morning, guys, with a thirst for tech stocks, they could rotate back in, and then maybe all these beautiful squeezes fire to the upside. But nonetheless, a squeeze is a great setup, not only for gauging when a stock is kind of taking a break in the action, but also when it's building up energy, getting ready to make that next move. So we take the big picture context of what's taking place in the market, we take a look at these squeezes, and we just can simply use them, guys, as a gauge of what's going on here in the big picture. So those are my thoughts heading into today's session, guys. The only new position from yesterday are those Goldman calls. We'll see how those go today. Obviously, I'll update you guys. As I mentioned, for those of you on the Focus Trades group, I want to see your ass there this morning for the live stream. We're going to get going live around 8:50 or so, about an hour before the market opens. We'll do our prep. We'll jump into live trading for the first hour or so. So I want to see all of you guys there. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll be talking to y'all tomorrow morning. Trade safe, trade smart.